Okay, right. So, OBS has been or streaming has been the talk of the time. Even though we're sort of coming out of restrictions here in the UK, lots of people have caught the streaming bug. And now that they've sort of figured it out for church or whatever they've been doing it for over COVID, now it's a case where the questions are just coming in through because people want to take this on. They're starting their own YouTube projects, etc., which is all good. So yeah, the questions are pouring in. So I've got a question, or I've had a question about chroma keying and green screens, etc. And it was to understand how to set it up and how to get the best results in terms of image quality or picture quality. So I'm going to go through a few basics here and just talk you through what it is I'm doing. And then you can pick it up from there and do whatever you need to do. I'm at home obviously now, and we're just going to look at a little bit of the setup I have for my base channel, and anything else I need to work on. We've been doing quite a lot of projects where we've been playing from home. Then you send your video, and they make that little collage where you get to see everybody, but you all played in different locations. I don't know what to call that actually. Anyway, let's just get straight into it. Set up a new scene. Okay, I've just got this scene 3, and the reason why I have display capture here, don't worry about adding it in. The only reason why I had it is I need to show you what I'm doing, and in order for me to do so, I need to have this display capture here. So don't worry about it. It's not a necessity for yourself. It's just so that you can see my screen, and I'm not just talking to you, and you have to imagine what's going on. But the first thing you'll do is you'll set up a scene, and this will be blank. You'll come up here and you'll add. Now, you can add them in whatever order, and I'll tell you how to order them once you have them all on screen. But let's add an image first, okay? So let's go here, add an image. You can name the image if you want. I'm not. And let's search my computer to see what images we have. Let's go to downloads. What's this? Altered scales. Oh, okay. This is the thumbnail for my latest video on this channel, surprisingly enough. Okay, let's go with that. So you can see the thumbnail that I created. And there it is. You're looking at it in the screen. The next thing you want to do is you need to add your camera. So I'm just going to go ahead and add a video capture device. Again, you can name the camera whatever you want to name it. Hit OK. Boom. Select the camera from here, and as you can see straight away, at the minute you are looking at one of my bass guitars, and that's a perching stool that's next to it. You can't actually see where I would sit, but that's a perching stool. It's quite comfortable for when I'm playing. I just sort of sit on it, and it gives me the perfect balance, so I can just sort of play my best. So you're looking at that now, and I'm not going to transition this over, because if I do, in fact, we'll do a quick transition. There we go. So that's what we're currently looking at, okay? Give me a second. Let me just move this back up and then transition it across. So you'll see my display capture screen is smaller than the screen I have with the green screen, so don't worry about that. It's just you'll see it peeking through in the background. But we're looking at this because I want to show you how to do what we do. So anyway, so what you will do is you will have your image, okay, and you will have your, let's see if we can bring that up to the front. There we go. So you'll have your image, and then you'll also have your video capture there, okay. Now what you need to do is you need to order these in a particular way, because you want to have the camera in front, and then you want to have the display in the background. So you'd need to put the video camera at the top. Once you move it back, what happens is it goes behind the background that you want to have, and therefore we can't see what's on the camera. So it makes logical sense if you think about it. You want to have your camera at the front layer, and then you want to have your image, or you can do this with a video as well, but you want to have your video in the background, okay? So I'm just going to reverse this and put the camera up top. There we go. And the image is now second. Now, go back to the camera. And what you can do is you can resize this image for where you want it to sit on the screen. So say this was an image of a person who was speaking, and you realize that you're using a webcam. It doesn't let you zoom in and zoom out. You can actually change the size of this particular image here. So say this was the person speaking. Let's just for argument say that the headstock on my base is the individual's head, and this is the individual's neck. And now all of a sudden you've created some pretty decent headroom for this particular image, for this particular item. Now, for the purpose of this video, I'm going to make this much smaller. Okay. See if I can align it. There we go. So this is my camera, and this is the background that I want. Okay. Now what you do is, in order to get this right, if you're using a green screen, and let me just give you a quick side tip, because most people just think it's about green screens. You can have whatever color you want in the background, and the process that we use to green screen the video, as people call it, you can have whatever color you want in the background. Just make sure that the image that you're shooting, the person that you're videoing, the thing that's in the camera, doesn't have the same color on. Because what's going to happen is when we chroma key this, which is what the official term is, chroma keying, what's going to happen is your computer or OBS is going to remove the color green. Okay? And it's going to replace it, in this case, with whatever we have in the background. If we have no image in the background, it's just going to be black. So you can pick solid colors. But what OBS is going to do is it's going to replace that green color, in this case, with what we have in the background. Now, if the individual was wearing a green, that's where you'll begin to see that they'll look like there's nothing there, it's hollow. So you can use any background color you want, so long as the subject that you're shooting doesn't also have that same color. So if my base was a green base, I don't know why anyone would want to have a green base, but if my base was green, I wouldn't be able to use a green screen. I'd probably need to use a blue screen. And if any of you have watched, what's that movie called? Avatar, James Cameron, with the Na'vi and, in space and, the rock and everything. I know it's an old movie. They used blue screens then. Sometimes it's blue, sometimes it's green. That's the industry standard, but you can use pretty much whatever color you want. At least I believe so. There might be some restrictions or some gray areas or whatever, but we don't want to worry about that. So if you're going to use a white background, the subject must not have any white on the front, or it'll key that color out. Okay, so once you've done that, you go onto the actual video capture device and come into filters. Okay, so video capture device, come into filters. Here I just right clicked on it and filters popped up. If you wanted to, you could do the same here and just right click on there on the actual video camera footage, and filters will also pop up as well. Doesn't really matter how you do it. I believe you can also come down here and do it. But anyway, there's two ways I've shown you on how to do it. So I'm just going to right click on that, hit filters, and you'll be presented with this screen. Now on this screen, you obviously have the subject there nice and big, as you can see it. And over here, you've got audio and video filters, and then you've got effect filters. What we want is the effect filters. And under the effect filters, excuse me, we will have chroma key. And that's what it is we're looking to do. We're looking to chroma key. Okay? Very weird name. No idea why they'd call it that, but that's what it is. Again, you can name this particular chroma key if you want to save a preset. Obviously, I'm not. Hit OK. Straight away, boom. It's removed the green as I told you it would, and you automatically have your subject popping out in the front. Now, the question that was asked to me specifically was this. As you can see, it looks like these two items are floating, and it doesn't look very natural. You want your background and your foreground to blend quite naturally, and it doesn't look very natural. Let's come back here. And as you can see over there, it looks a little bit better when it's in front of the actual screen. I'm going to transition it for a second so you can have a look at it. But what the question was is, how do I get the best results? They want better results. They don't want it to look unnatural or to have that little silver lining going around it as if it's in Photoshop. I'm pretty sure you guys know what I mean. So I'm going to hit transition so you can see what it actually looks like. Obviously, you're no longer seeing my screen. Don't worry, I'm not making any changes in the background. But that's sort of your basic start off. Now I'm going to go back to the display capture. Bump that forward. Transition that across. Then I'm going to come back here and do what we had before. Okay, so this is a situation that we had before. Now I'm going to go back into the camera here, and I'm going to right click on it and go back into filters. Go back into chroma key, and I'm back to where I was before. Now what I was explaining to the individual beforehand is this. These parameters here allow you to make adjustments so that you can have that more natural feel. Before you do this, my recommendation is this. One of the things that adds a really good natural feel is having very good lighting. I mean, when I say good lighting, I mean some solid lighting. What you call it, shadow cancellation. So you've got your lights in the most appropriate position. Etc. Then, and also, how far the lights are, how close they are. You don't want glare, etc. But you'll see it yourself when you turn the lights on the subject. So if you had the subject first, do the chroma key, then switch the lights on. You'll be able to move the lights yourself using just your eye and looking at the monitor into positions where eventually you'll be like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, this is where I want it to be. This is the best sort of position for the lights, and you can work around with that, and just move them in. Make sure you've got decent lights. But once you've done that, it'll look more natural. Okay. Then what you want to do here is the first thing you want to do is this. Now these are default colors that have been picked. As you can see, you've got blue, you've got green. As I told you, blue and green are sort of the industry standard. You've got magenta, which is like a purplish color. But then you've got custom. Now under custom, it will let you match, right? The green that you have on your screen. You might need to physically take your laptop across and, match it across or cut a piece off or whatever and bring it back. But it'll let you match the green on your screen to, you can match the green on your screen to, the green that's here. And the closer you get the green, okay, the more clearer and better your image is going to look, the more natural it's going to look. Yeah? And the cool thing about OBS is once you've done that, you can save the custom color, add, save it, so that next time if you're using that specific green screen, you have it saved. So you're sorted. You don't have to worry about having to do this 10 million times over and over again. I'm going to go back to default. So default. Okay. The other thing you can do here is you can play around with these parameters. So for example, if I move the similarity all the way back to 1, for example, it'll show me my natural image as it is. But as I move it more to the right and it begins to key out that green, you'll see, there you go. You'll see that the image will begin to pop even more. And as it pops more, again, once you've got your lighting on there, you'll find the spot where it's the best, where it's perfect. Because you see this, once you go too far, it then becomes faded and it disappears. So you just need to find the spot where, that's the best. And once you've found that spot, it's like, I'm showing my age now, but back in the day when you had the old FM radios, and you used to look for the best spot where the radio sounded the best, And it's a similar thing here. You just look for the best spot, and once you found the best spot, you'll know it. Just let go of that. You can also use the arrows if you don't want to use the mouse to key the values in, but you'll see it yourself and you'll be like, yeah, this is the best spot. Again, you've got your smoothness. Again, you're just looking. If I go all the way to 1, you can see that border, that we were talking about, which looks like it's in Photoshop, and you've just cropped out or cut out the picture. But if you go onto the smoothness and you move it forward, you'll see, oh yeah, that's looking much better. And eventually, yeah, if you do it too far, it'll begin to take out the actual image. So, get it to where it's popping, as I like to say. And then you can use the arrows and just see how far, you can go with the smoothness. I think about 97, 96 is fine. 98. We'll go with 97. Okay. And then again, color key color spill reduction. Same thing. Move this across, and find where the best is for your for the image that you have. And once you've found the best place, just pop it there and you'll be fine. Opacity deals with how, like like with the other options here, it'll fade it out. So if you've got a lesser opacity, like let's say 20, it's out of 100, by the way, you'll see it's faded. Like it's how much you want that particular image to stand out next to the background. Sometimes you want the background to be stronger than the actual video image, and vice versa. So you mess around with that. I'm going to leave this at 100. And then you've got contrast. Everyone who's owned a television or anything, your phone, you name it, we all know what contrast is. I am not going to describe or discuss contrast. But yeah, you can mess around with the contrast. And once you've got your image how you want it, close it down, come back, and you'll see that you'll have a better picture quality. I'm just going to transition this across. And there we go. So you'll see that you'll have a better image quality, with the lights. I haven't turned my lights on, by the way. This is just natural light coming in from from what's inside this particular room. But I do have lights in here. I've got some studio lights, which I haven't turned on. I mean, you know what, actually, it's going to be a bit of an hour. It's going to turn them on, but we'll leave it for now. But yeah, I've got lights that I can turn on. And again, that'll just improve the quality. So that's how you go about doing it. If you have any questions or anything, just drop them in the comments below. And it's all about messing around with those settings and figuring out what works best for you and that particular subject that you want to chroma key. You might change that in the future and, move positions and realize, okay, I have to go through some of my settings again. But the more you play around with those settings, the more familiar you'll become with them, and the quicker you'll be able to do this every single time you change subjects or change rooms. You'll be able to set it up a lot more quicker, but it just comes at time. But yeah, that's my my video for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side.